As a fire Musa Manya Chami Adan ho akwa by the apomuden komo no bremo. Meantime, ma Godfred Amu Kwesi Kuma, happy birthday. Hood friend Godfred Amu Kwesi Kuma, aka Alligator of Ghana School of Law Security Post. Newa woda but what Ghana School of Law Security Post there and the winners and yen can law and I cabrofo. But Alligator, we are wishing you all the best and we are wishing you God's blessings. A belated happy birthday to Grace to Adekye, Mr. Adekye of Agatima Boat, wishing Grace from Points, wishing you a belated happy birthday. That as you start a new year of your life, they pray for good health, prosperity, and long life, and for you to fulfill your purpose to God. So, Mr. Adekye, yesterday was your birthday. You had Agatima Boat. Happy belated birthday to you. Anope ya pomodin komo aye babe dini ye babe ka COVID-19 no ehun asem still eno an ye beka ye se eka ya hrawa no na ye bisa se eno pene yade eka ya hrawa no yade be biem so ene timi ka ahrawa no eno eka ahrawa na ye se wo ni sunsanso no dia no eden pa ene wo dia no emre nti severe to mild symptoms na se ka obi a ne ho to no a ahrawa no besi ne dada mu ebiem nipa no ne ho beto no ne ho beto na febo besi ne dada mu ana. Dr. Alex Kweku Ado, ye physician wo medical ICU Kolebu Teaching Hospital and anope ye no babidi how COVID-19 affects the lungs kwan faswa ebora ahrawa no emu. Doc, good morning. Ejumo mu boko anope nso ye da se ne obre enti yare ben sa na e kan hrawa ansa na COVID-19 eba.
Oh, yare be brave to make count your lungs no. It is a common cold.
Oh, sir.
Catarrh. It be a friend in pneumonia. And it is asthma. It is TB. It is bronchitis, bronchiectasis. Yare be brave affect your lungs no.
Okay. Common cold do any day I am in one.
So I can't say lungs near a part of the body, a friend respiratory system.
Okay.
No static free a winning. About your winning chi. About your minimum for larynx. So about down to a part called the trachea. Now called down to the lungs itself. Any part of the back can be affected. Any part of this, it can affect almost any other part.
Say a count when I say common cold the year when
exactly
a bit to me aqua
exactly into when say so being a common cold say check a crack was also at bowa say chest not on fair draw and I say draw in juma when say a 1 year serious about here my mind yellow exactly into common cold no beba now fear I acquire be fufro.
Oh, I see.
Be a pneumonia and I will be yes.
Okay. I'm patcho COVID-19 no kwan ben na e fa kan ya hrawa.
COVID-19 affects other parts of the body, but the main part it affects cause a lot of problems near respiratory system and our lungs na ya can mass this year no. It usually no say can say na candidate no respiratory system no. COVID-19 no it may affect your when no and your when nature. So affect you when now what the who see and say one munya sa yare no mutanya loss of smell. Just say omun wo the idea bell mun cramp omun smell omun tipampan.
Okay.
And as a cold chika kra omutumanya be a friend no sore throat. Now sore throat no so e koni nim kakra na e ko ase mo a what menya be a friend no pneumonia. And the pneumonia is a severe form of the COVID-19.
Okay.
And say pneumonia also check na say kone nima. Which one you be a friend of acute respiratory distress syndrome. And a very the most severe form of the disease. And a basa na I just say a junior according to maybe a friend intensive care unit.
Okay.
And now you the tubes. And the tubes you connect to my machine. Now machine ma una connect to me home.
And no na sabre na say nipa no homia ensiso na.
Homia ensiso.
Oh,
okay. And it just say you're born with the machine, a friend mechanical ventilator.
Okay. Ade sabre no asai ahrawanana.
Something like that. But yes, I say no cry. What happens in this line in the wall lungs in the moon? It me a gino, and I insist to me be can't a free lungs in one because I be good line anymore.
Okay.
And yes, and I saw no corner home here. And from one of whom you are calling mono. And me fat lungs in when calling mojano and parts are in here in Framano. And yes, and the person will find it very difficult to breathe. And it's a very severe form of the COVID-19. Yes.
Okay, can you ask my dear one count?
Maybe asthma, dear. We say diseases affected lungs. COVID-19
and also any COVID-19 no ebenya twaka obi owo asthma the chances e be chest obetumi enya COVID-19 ti say onya bi nso a na hoto mu ti say.
Okay. Answer me COVID-19 asthma na nkasa no. Say obi wo asthma depending on the way and the symptoms no etaba any frequency etaba no.
Okay.
It may group them into about four main groups.
Oh, okay.
If it be intermittent is say no any attack back after many years and many months a cheap answer when you attack back.
Okay.
And it will be also in the mild persistent. Not just say otanya symptoms no all the time, but mild in the sense in time back every day. Maybe every 2 days and now 3 days and now 4 days, 5 days. When you symptoms na kakra.
Okay.
And if you have moderate, any severe, persistent. Enti what we know is here and say so you can be asthma and on say the chances of being COVID-19 and our coronavirus no a higher sin general population and will be one more ni asthma no.
Okay.
But what we know is say only a moderate to severe persistent asthma. Now, let's just say either say the medication no you see that on funny ye and maybe ohia more later. I man is interesting, but almost all the time now. With what we know is asthma COVID-19 now. It's been money severe form of the COVID-19 and any COVID-19 pneumonia, any acute respiratory distress syndrome no. We will not say so we will asthma. You should be afraid so being COVID-19 easily.
Okay. Or
easier, same general population. But what we know is so only according funny medications and our medications no funny correctly. Now our moderate to severe asthma. So on your COVID-19 the chances of being a severe form of the disease, which will require hospitalization. And I've been going to the medical or ICU. I am on tubes connected to them. Mechanical ventilator no there. Very high, yes. And
say obi oye asthmatic no sabre mu no bibi special be no be apart from the normal protocols amachwe say generally obi a enye no ono dia nsonko na onye say ono dia ne dia o take extra care. Okay,
so like you said no apart from general we na case of monye no use hand sanitizer, use face mask, anything kind of. What we advise people with asthma in this season is say now doctor actually say for wound no. You have to continue taking them religiously. They use their medication. They will say, "Minya asthmatic attack ache," and I minya attack ache or they do not work. Time of being attack and so we see sir in drone. These are not normal times. Okay. You cannot afford to do that now. The advice is that continue using your medication the same way our doctor actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you are using a medication and you are still getting symptoms, no, and it say ohumia insiso unya chest tightness, as it will be the bibi or chest, and obowa and aju pa and ohumia otidede. If you are getting all these symptoms, no, you have to call your doctor.
Okay.
And let your doctor know. ABI or they don't become and obey increased frequency.
Okay.
All this is to make sure say your asthma is well controlled.
Okay.
So that you don't have moderate to severe asthma. You rather have mild and intermittent asthma. Na you can one.
Yes. Na ebi obi a ono owo lungs yare ebobo su ya say bronchitis and normal cold and asthma ya na ono ahome ye ne den dada. Say ebi okonya COVID-19 ni bia ebra wonya nko ye tester ye ntimi nka nche ni say ampa confirmed what is the positive no e den na ebe ma na hu say me suspect say COVID-19. Say because on already na ohumia insisi so dada. Nti bia na nadwan kwen so bia na ye meyare na bia na enye COVID-19.
Okay. So if you the first thing like I say if you are in doubt and also suspect when you have COVID-19, the best thing is to call. If you have your doctor's number, call your doctor.
Okay.
And now between a hospital no, you call them and tell them the symptoms you're experiencing. The doctor maybe some further questions to see say is it your normal asthma and answer when you have before account. Apart from that, no, what is what we call the case definition. What tells us obenya COVID-19 is here you see Ghana no here. Say obenya temperature, fever. The temperature near above 38 degrees Celsius, or also acute respiratory symptoms. They say your bowa, I say bowa in 10 and or homia in siso, new symptoms. So when you have symptoms, you now suspect here. You call.
Okay.
You call the hospital and tell them these are what you are feeling. And our free helpline now, the government give out. You know.
Okay.
Go from one and you tell them. Then they will ask you further questions to be sure. Say asthma na and I say asthma. But all the same, no say ebia who say and I'll pay one sorry and I say be pneumonia and I be who me insist kwa. Also asthma phone they have two medications that muta you see. If you be preventers and if you be relievers. Preventer near a draw more far every day to prevent so many asthmatic attack. And if you will be reliever. Reliever near idea more you see. Say in case of more new onset of breathlessness now, but you see. And I'm more so many attacker on you see. Okay. So at that time no feel say who me insist so. And now who me I did there. Be previous no time symptoms now. But you see reliever no. So all you see at once or bear once, twice. And that's still a year. The best thing is to go to the hospital. Because what it means is say it's likely so when you're an asthmatic attack and it's a very severe form.
Okay.
So when you go to the hospital, do further tests to rule out say COVID-19 and I say asthma and I be full and
okay.
Say yes.
Say COVID-19 it to me a kawa no. You want grades and types of damage. Obi to me aye wa harawa no.
Exactly, yes.
It will be sir.
Yes, yeah. So we have a clinical categorization and classification. Or mild, or moderate, or severe, or critically critical disease. Mild near and it will be asymptomatic. They don't show any symptoms at all.
Okay.
So the mild ones near say when loss of smell. It's loss of smell and maybe OCDC too much, all those things.
Okay. And
then so as we call moderate any severe and not symptoms no air worsen. So we do severe needs when you have a friend on COVID-19 pneumonia. They require hospitalization. Just say a job to hospital and give them oxygen. From
okay.
And a call critical no. Just say they've reached the point of reference of acute respiratory distress syndrome. And any time I just see a more tube and I connect them to a machine to help them breathe. Ventilator no.
Oh, okay.
To help them breathe.
Okay.
Is that yeah. So these are the grades of COVID-19.
And that time now say who sneeze keke kra akan wa hrawa no.
Exactly. Who sneeze here? Akan or respiratory system no.
Okay.
The whole sneezing here more of your BFN upper airways and a lower airway. So upper airway near on when you chi minim back down kakrano. Sneezing here more of that. It is a conenim kakrana. Never call BFN COVID-19 pneumonia. Okay. COVID-19 pneumonia the lung itself. So when it gets there, that means we do severe form of the COVID-19.
I didn't know more kind of COVID-19 pneumonia, because you pneumonia. We pneumonia no, so coach pneumonia that na yet na.
The first place no, this pneumonia is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 and a coronavirus for Alabama. Okay. So that's why it's called COVID-19. And secondly, no, normal pneumonia is not usually no, affected either one lung and a part of one lung.
Okay.
But COVID-19 pneumonia, what we know so far is it can affect or usually affect both lungs in India. That is why usually it's more severe in normal pneumonia now. yatete ho
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the be na obi akoma into na enye ne se ene wo mu se ye pese obi a eyemu hyehye no nhwe enhu se yade en ehu but enye se hyehye won so se ene eminya bia kojo to mi wo mu ano no to ye info.
Okay, so the American say COVID-19 aba, it has come. We are all putting effort to fight the disease. Some people feel that area ain't mean come because of many reasons, but what we know is that everybody can be affected by it. They just will be taking precautions to make sure say or no yare ni bi. And a number of people are more yare and some show symptoms and so much mass spread yare. So all what I are catching so far no is what I advise people to do.
Okay.
It is importantly no obian tries to wear face mask. I mean PR wear your face mask. Either way you see surgical face mask N95 and into my then I palm obey you see me. Who you see and what it does is say oh you're any being poor. It reduces the chances of spreading among the next person. And it also helps you say so will be not say be or bowa and no kasa na say or release droplets a be encounter okay. And say as much as possible wash your hands with soap and the running water for at least 20-30 seconds as often as possible or anytime be able do sabe can be and I can't door and I will bet you be second thirdly so we advise people not to shake hands this year no mean shaking hands as usually the best or hug people. And then fourthly so say who need soup any running water you advise you to use alcohol-based sanitizers to wash your hands. And then when you are in people, you know, go for try and make a distance at least 1 meter to 2 meters apart. These basic things will help.
Thank you. Now, what can nose mask and to for you? So, my musama a month for Sanya man in social media. I see nose mask, no, and Ubocha from Mananka says a quabon, and quabon, and then baby almost say oxygen type for concha, na feed say a dane carbon dioxide. Into who sang chanco so and no son yanty nose mask, no, or born bear one now where ye that kind of theories are now myth, no crebe in a woman. See, saying no nose mask, no how long?
How long? Okay, so nose masks there. I mean, it doesn't work the way people are thinking it works. It's in our watches this year. No? What does and say we have different grades of nose mask. So generally, what a nose mask is supposed to do is it prevents you, say, kasa or droplets about one thing.
Okay.
It doesn't prevent air from coming to you.
Okay.
What it does is a second tier with my and say ubo face mask now. So ubi homea. Now say bibi in war germs war air anymore. Say a fat mask anymore. Mask means my CV no. Mask it's a sieve for inframano.
Okay.
They better trap dust and in one or more inframanimo.
Okay.
So as for oxygen and carbon dioxide, it doesn't affect their exchange.
Okay.
Yeah. Until over face mask now, you wear it for as long as you can until say when we say be a 4. And I hear very dirty be a bowe goes directly here. Then you can remove it and then put on a new one.
Okay. Nti monko so na momo nose mask do ka no pay da say. Dr. Alex Kwado ye physician medical ICU Kolebu Teaching Hospital and ye bisa say COVID-19 e kwan ben so na efa enya kwan didi ra ya hrawo mana nsunsun so ya hrawo mu ene esen odwomtofo ni say wabeka de ya achew onipa fa papa no nante na emwa nti eno ano ye kwa ba pa ye bedi Ghana nko